The Duggar sisters are no strangers to reality television, having appeared on 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting On. The older Duggar sisters have even dated on camera. Well, sort of. Rather, they courted. Given this, how the Duggar sisters met their husbands is pretty interesting. One of the biggest things that sets the Duggar family apart from the mainstream world is their belief in the courtship process. Anyone who has seen an episode of 19 Kids and Counting or Counting On knows that the Duggar family doesn't date. Rather, they court, and their version of courtship comes with rules.
Well, I guess we'll be in on your conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
In an interview with Today, the heads of the Duggar family, Jim Bob and Michelle, explained why they value courtship. Jim Bob said, "Courtship is really waiting for the one God has for you and praying through the whole process." Michelle added, "It's really examining the person and considering, would this be the guy I want to be the father of my kids?" But as nice as that sounds, in order for the Duggar sisters to enjoy a courtship, there are rules. As the Duggars told Today, the two lovebirds must never be left alone, their texts aren't private, and they can't hold hands or kiss. And to begin a courtship, you have to ask Jim Bob first. The entire process might seem outdated, but it seems to work for them. With all the rules regarding how the Duggars deal with courtship, it's kind of a wonder that any of them get the chance to meet someone at all. But there's one place that even the Duggar family has deemed safe enough to let their children mix and mingle: church. Yes, their church is the spot of a lot of meet-cutes in the Duggar sisters' world, and that's where Jessa Duggar met her beau. Jessa's husband, Ben Seawald, wrote on the Seawald family blog, "Jessa and I met at her church while on a mini vacation in Northwest Arkansas. Jessa's family was really friendly and invited us to a conference just a few days later. After first meeting Jessa, Ben wrote that he was determined to see her again, and he practically begged his mom to let them go to the conference the Duggars had invited them to. After that, Ben and Jessa slowly started to get to know each other, and Ben was embraced by the Duggar family. In short, it was the perfect start to a Duggar romance. Bonus fun fact, Jessa was 21 when she got married, and as young as that sounds, she was actually older than her husband, who was only 19 at the time." If it seems like the Duggar sisters live in a romantic comedy, well, it's because they just might. While their old-fashioned values of courting might seem outdated, they clearly yield results and some good stories. For Ginger Duggar, true love was just a church fellowship event away. In fact, Ginger wouldn't have met her husband, Jeremy Volo, if it weren't for her sister Jessa and her husband, Ben. Jessa and Ben met Jeremy at a church event in San Antonio. Ben and Jeremy had stayed in touch, and so Jeremy was able to reach out when he started developing feelings for Ginger. In a post on the Volo family blog, Jeremy wrote about how he knew Ginger was the one after watching a testimony video she had recorded. He wrote, "I remember watching her testimony video that she had made with Ben and thinking, wow, this girl is amazing." In true Duggar fashion, Ginger and Jeremy didn't just meet up for coffee after he saw her testimony video. After visiting Arkansas and meeting Ginger in person, they took things international. Jeremy joined the Duggar family on a mission trip in Central America, where the two really got to know each other and realized they wanted to be together.
Hey, do you want to go celebrate my victory over dinner?
You mean our anniversary?
Yes, that's what I meant.
The Duggar family's strict courtship rules typically mean that the Duggar sisters don't just go on a dating app and find a guy she's interested in. When it comes to Jill Duggar, her love story with Derek Dillard probably wouldn't have happened if it were not for her father, who practically set them up. Yes, the Duggar patriarch knows a thing or two about making love connections. When Derek was doing missionary work in Nepal, Jim Bob Duggar was one of his prayer partners, as Derek explained on the Dillard family blog. So Derek and Jim Bob would talk regularly, and it was through those conversations that Derek learned about Jill. Derek wrote, "Jill's dad would also mention periodically the work Jill was doing in her studies as a student midwife and her desire to someday use her skills overseas on the mission field. Being that we had similar life goals, she caught my attention." Even though Derek was thousands of miles away on a mission trip, he started falling for Jill, and it didn't take long before she started to fall for him as well. Even though Jill had only really heard about Derek from her father's phone calls with him, this Duggar sister could tell he was something special. It took some time, but before too long, Jill and Derek were a regular part of each other's lives. After her dad introduced the two of them, they began to talk on the phone and video chat on the computer more often, and they actually got to know each other really well, as noted by the Dillard family blog. So well, in fact, that Jill found herself catching feelings virtually. In a total bacheloresque moment, Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard met in person for the first time in a totally romantic way. While Derek was in Nepal, Jill and Jim Bob got to go and visit him, which is when Jill and Derek finally met in person as they both detailed on their blog. Derek wrote, "By the end of the trip, I felt the Lord directing me to ask Jill to officially begin a courtship relationship. She agreed, and we continued getting to know one another." As for Jill, she wrote, "Our goals aligned perfectly with how we saw God leading us, and we both felt we could serve Him better together than separate." Though the Duggars are known to travel all over the world doing mission work and attending conferences, sometimes their future spouses are closer to home than they might realize. At least that's what happened with Joyanna Duggar, who actually first met her husband, Austin Forsyth, when they were just kids. Of course, their romantic relationship didn't start until they were older, but it's sweet that they went from childhood friends to husband and wife.
So beautiful.
According to People, Joyanna and Austin met when his family relocated to Arkansas and started going to the same church as the Duggars. Joyanna told a magazine, "It's really special that I got to grow up with him and my family knows him really well." As fans know, the Duggar sisters take courtship and romantic relationships super seriously, so it probably worked out for everyone that the Duggars already knew Austin before their courtship even began. For the happy couple, having known each other for so long presumably only makes the relationship all that much more special. Even though Joyanna and Austin had known each other for years, most of that time was spent as friends. So when Austin knew he wanted to take things to the next level and began courting Joyanna, he wanted to ask her somewhere special, in a place that meant a lot to Joyanna. In a video on the Duggar family website, Joyanna explained that the spot Austin asked to court her was great because they had been there with friends before. The Duggar sister said, "There was a whole group of us that came up and we were just hanging out and it was really late at night. The stars were just gorgeous." Austin added, "I went there many times to just get away and spend time with the Lord. I just knew that this was the place that I wanted to ask her." Honestly, their entire love story sounds like it was meant to be. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite reality TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.